Hello everybody, this is Monstertaming coming at you with another Kindred Fates community newsletter. This time is for October 22nd. So, for the Combat Arena Alpha, we're still in the bug fixing phase for a single player milestone. Always truly appreciate your patience and understanding while we push to finish this up. We're nearing the end and hope to begin work on a new Combat Arena build soon. Many of the features we plan to have in the new build are already done. We just need time to make sure they play nicely in the Combat Arena. We'll keep you updated. We standardize our single player UI for the keyboard and mouse inputs, removing some of our button prompts placeholders and making them key prompts. Added the remaining menu options for our storage system. Here's a look in progress from catching kinfolk to using storage system. Keep in mind, storage system is still very new, undergo many iterations in the future. Here we have it. This is just the capture mechanic that we've already seen showcased in both the trailer and previous newsletters. And so you get them, and then we actually do get a little bit of new text up here. You farmed a born with Lumala, but your team's already full. What would you do? What would you like to do? And then you can replace individuals on your team, put them in, send them all to storage, or part ways. Then you can go pray at the shrine. Looks like I was kind of right on an earlier speculation video that the shrines would be used for storage. And then you reach out, touch the shrine, and feel it connected to the world. What do? You have the options to heal and manage your kinfolk. So it looks like all the features that you would expect from like a Pokemon Center type thing rolled into one. This is all just placeholder stats and everything here. So I'm not really focused on that. Here, though, we have corresponded to Arcade XP, and that is one of the artists that works for SkyMill. And then we have met at White Cliff Lighthouse with the nature of lawful. All dex numbers are 27, by the way. They just did that, so we can't speculate too much on, what they are, I guess. I'm not entirely sure we need to hide the dex number was, but, they are all just random dex number like that. So we met at the White Cliff Lighthouse, which is where the cipher was found. That might be an end-game location. We know literally nothing about it besides that it's called White Cliff Lighthouse. It may or may not be in the game. Then we have nature being lawful. Now it's interesting because it's the first that I'm aware of we've ever seen what the natures will look like. The Lumala is also lawful, by the way, and we'll see that in a minute here. Just didn't want to get your hopes up. But this is kind of cool that we actually get to see that they're going to describe them in terms like that. So a lawful kinfolk might disapprove of you breaking the law, stealing, illegal fights, or various things like that, I'd imagine. Also, the UI in general is just looking really nice, in my opinion. Once again, we see White Cliff Lighthouse, which implies that the player is at White Cliff Lighthouse right now, since they just called the Lumala here. But as you can tell, there's not a lighthouse around anywhere, so like I said, could just be a placeholder name, could be a little tiny drop of info. You never know. Alright, moving on. We've been making great progress on all manner of progressive systems, both our current and in progress dungeon, as well as laying the groundwork for future dungeons. Finished our first ever prize and puzzle in single player. Puzzles will be a big part of the dungeon progression. Feels great to finally have one in the game. Added key dropping, which means you won't progress until you complete certain tasks. As always, we put a lot of work into refining our Npc Ai. Reworked the NPC's pathfinding script so that they more accurately follow the paths along Navmesh. Gave NPCs the ability to actively avoid dangerous damage over time abilities such as Scorch and Caustic Cloud. In this process, we also gave the NPC an easy way to perceive other threats around them so they can react accordingly. Added a flag for marking when an NPC is aggroed. This allows for logic such as playing combat music when an NPC aggroes the player. Added an accuracy setting for the NPCs as an additional parameter that can be tuned per NPC or per NPC's ability. I think that's probably going to be very nice and useful for balance. Added NPC logic for when the player snipes an NPC from a distance in the open world. That's good to know. And our AI behavior trees have gotten meatier. Here's an image of Skulkin's current tree. Once again, this is a low-res image. You can't actually read anything that's going on. But you can see just how beefy these trees are. We're continuing to refine our existing music tracks, as well as starting work on 2 new ones. The Sprint has also finished a bunch of new SFX, sorry, made new SFX for our first dungeon, such as general ambience and effects for our cutscenes, added and polished sound effects to one of the in-game shops that includes fan noises, door slide sound, bell chime when you enter. Shop music also sounds like it's coming from radio, which I think is pretty cool. Speaking of music, as they said, they're working on some new music and refining their current music. I have seen a few people complain that the music's getting a little bit old in the arena, and I kind of agree. It would be really nice to see some more music to liven up the arena a little bit. If we could see a trickle down of that into the arena. The sprint was picked up through, this sprint we picked through the grass with a fine-tooth comb. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty details with foliage placement. Put a lot of work into points of interest in the open world. These can be things like rock formations or ruins. Going to be exciting to explore. We spent a lot of time tracking down and fixing bugs to sprint. Fix the problem we're having where multiple active NPCs can cause the NPCs to act strangely. The problem was that the AI for one NPCs could subtly affect another. This fix will improve playability both in the open world and in the practice room. Fix problem where NPCs could reappear after death as animated statues. Hope this doesn't come back. Fix problem where happening with the shadows, not more consistent and reliable. Fix problems causing occasional pauses in the open world. Feels much better now. Good to know that the open world is getting good and feeling better, and good to know that the AI will be trickling down to the practice room right here, because the practice room AI could definitely use some work. Now for the community, don't forget to submit a design to the pumpkin and vegetable carving contest. Submissions end on October 25th. Join the official Discord server for more details. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time on November 5th. So yeah, by the time you guys see this, you'll have 1 day to still apply to that community contest there, and you can win a unique title and win a copy of the game, a copy of the alpha and stuff. So if you're interested at all, there's not a lot of entries right now, so you have a pretty good chance to win, even if you're not super talented. So go on and hop in. This is Monstertaming signing off. Hope you all enjoyed this week's newsletter. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. God bless. See ya.